As you know, we like to do a little bit of announcements before the show if we can. Right now, I just want to make an announcement. Tomorrow, Calma, the Colorado Alliance for Latino Mentors and Authors, is going to be having a free-flowing panel discussion. Poets, Latino poets, that will be talking about the evolution of Chicano poetry. There will be several poets that will be reading at this tomorrow. That is 2 p.m. Let me see, Jose Guerrero, Laura Soto are representing the old school Chicano, and the old school Chicano poets will be represented by Domingo and Ramon del Castillo. Old school poet Ricardo Laforre will moderate the session. By the way, we'll be having Ricardo Laforre on the show here in a couple of weeks. We are so excited about that. And so, my TV's coming on back here. One thing about live recording is you got to be ready for anything.
That's right.
So, again, normally I talk about past guests that have been on the show. I am going to just briefly talk about our last guest that we had, Manuel Ramos. Whee! Manuel, I'm so sorry. I keep thinking Ramon, and it's Manuel Ramos. But he has recently been featured in this collection, Denver Noir. This is an international collection of books that is actually available all over the world. So this is the Denver Noir book that is recently released. And there's a couple of other Calma authors that are in there. Our show sponsor, David Ronquillo, has written a trilogy of books. This is Make It Go Away, his second book. You hear my commercial going on the station all the time if you listen to it, and definitely get this book. At least get this book, Make It Go Away. Find out why that phrase is the title of the book. It's a kind of interesting story. I am the author of The Caregiver's Handbook, a self-help love story. And those of you who have been ordering, thank you for your orders. If you would like to get a hold of me, you can go to Boost Plus on Facebook. Get a hold of me through the station, and if you'd like to order this book, please do reach out to me. With that, we will go ahead and introduce our guest. Our guest is not just a friend of Dee's and mine, but is someone that we've really come to admire, respect, and found out she's an excellent cook. Pranic Healing. We're going to be talking to Linda Montano. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Paul. Pleasure to be here this morning.
Pleasure to have you. So pranic healing, you were a pranic healer. And,
I am.
And what is pranic healing?
Pranic healing is moving energy from the body, moving and clearing dirty energy, negative thought forms, heavy oppressive energy, moving it through and out of the body so that you can have a more balanced, more focused, clear view of your life. So it's basically a hands-off movement of energy through the chakras and the different layers of auras.
Oh man, okay, that is good. That is a great starting point.
Very powerful.
So we talk about dirty energy or negative energy. How does dirty energy get into us? What is that?
Life, just being a human, will produce dirty energy. Just the stress of going to work, getting your kids off to school, making dinner, anyone that you meet, road rage, just anything. Life just produces heavy energy. And so negative energy can come from many different areas, many different sources. So what we want to do, anybody and everybody on the planet has some type of dirty energy that can be cleaned out or swept away and then replaced with clean, positive, balanced energy. Does that make sense to you?
It does. And I feel very fortunate to be able to grasp this because I've been on a quest for the last several years, understanding energy, and I've been developing my knowledge and skill with crystal healing. And Barb Crowley was one of the past guests, and she informed me that I was an empath, and that a lot of people's energy attaches to me when we part ways, and so I have to be really aware of that. So that kind of got me started on that surge.
Definitely. Every time you interact with anybody, be it in person, be it on the phone, in a grocery store, anytime you interact with another human being, there's an energetic cord that is attached to you. So if you are an empath, then of course you're going to have a lot of cords connected to your body. this can, to your energetic body. This can weigh you down. This can make you, sometimes if you're an empath, feel other people's emotions, sometimes their anger, sometimes their fear. Being an empath really opens you up to feeling other people's emotions. So it's very important that you keep yourself protected and shielded, and keep yourself cleansed and balanced so that you're not resonating on somebody else's fear, anger, sorrow, or stress. So it's very important as an empath to keep yourself protected. Very important.
Yep, and you know, there's a I don't know what you want to call it, an affirmation that I say a lot of times when I go to bed, and I say, I send away all energy that is not mine. I send it back to the source, and I call back all of my own energy.
Oh, that's great. That's a good one.
And you know what, I got to tell you that when I started doing that, it was really awkward for me. You know, because I'm sitting there in the room and Dee's laying there, and you know, I call back all my energy, and she's there going, wow, this is so cool.
Well, the power of your word is very, very powerful at this time on the planet. So you need to be very careful about what you say, what comes out of your mouth, and also any positive affirmations are very powerful at this time.
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
powerful, yes.
This time, you use the term this, and this is such a, we could do a whole show on this topic alone.
This time, yes.
This is a special time, guys. I don't know if you've been feeling it. Many people can feel the shift. There was a shift that recently took place, probably in the last 6 months. But it's a major shift, and even there's people that on TikTok are saying that this major shift is still taking place.
Yes, there is a major shift that is occurring on our planet at this time. We're moving out of male dominant energy and into female energy, which is very, very different. Male energy is very aggressive, very assertive, very go out and get it done now, hurry now, get more. And when you're in feminine energy, you set out an intention, you plant a seed, and then you allow it to come to you however the universe wants it to come to you. So you're not out there struggling, fighting, and trying to compete with others. You want to just plant your seeds, have positive thoughts, and be more on the quiet, soft side, and just let the energy flow to you. So it's very different. It's very different from what we've been used to for many, many thousands of years. We're definitely moving into a new energy, and it is the feminine energy.
I am so thankful.
And that is why a lot of things are happening on the planet that are involving women. Women are standing up, and we're not being aggressive, but we are being heard.
2 of the top 3 most powerful human beings on earth are women. Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
And Kamala Harris. So guess what? If Joe Biden were to suddenly be unalived or not exist, guess who the president would be? A female.
Exactly.
If she were to be removed, the third in command is a female.
Exactly.
And so what you're saying, it's so evident. I mean, it's so clearly there.
Right.
So when we talk about at this time and these negative energies, how do we function when we walk around with all this crap in us? How can we function?
Well, it's very hard for many people. Right now on the planet, there are a lot of people that are going, you know, after being secluded from having to stay in our homes for 2 years, having so much hopelessness going on the planet, fear of the COVID-19, fear of wars, just so many negative aspects that humanity is experiencing at this time. A lot of people are very heavy right now, and it's not necessarily individual, but us as humans, we are on humanitarian plane where all of us are feeling very deeply a lot of pain, sorrow, negative, heavy energy that has been happening to us for the past couple years. And that's where I come in and help to balance people's energy out, pull that heaviness, that fear, that sorrow, that grief out of the chakras, out of the aura, out of the energy body, so that you can breathe again and feel balanced and focused and ready to go forward. That's where pranic healers come in, and there are a lot of different healers at this time on the planet, a lot of different tools, and you just have to kind of see who you resonate with, see what feels right to you. There is no one right way. Pranic healers aren't doctors, but some doctors are pranic healers. I also use the Merkaba Angelic Light Table, which is very, very productive in increasing holistic and transformation and harmony of the mind, body, and soul. The Angelic Merkaba Table creates a peaceful state of well-being, and it helps to reduce stress. It clears and balances your chakras, your auras, and your light body and energy field. It boosts the body's natural healing process and provides an energetic tune-up on multiple levels. And it also accelerates higher consciousness awakening and personal transformation.
Oh, man. So with that, I have to share a story.
Okay.
So
Let's hear it.
as I mentioned in the beginning, Linda is our friend. You know, we were actually referred to her through one of her clients, who is my cousin, my niece. She's younger than me, so I call her my niece. But my niece Rudiana referred us to you. Oh, by the way, I need to make an announcement. I don't want to forget this, guys. Forgive me. I don't mean to bounce around.
No problem.
But Rudiana has a very, very a passionate cause that really needs addressing. There's a GoFundMe page. There was a sacred ceremony site in New Mexico that was burned in this Hermit's Peak fire. And there's a GoFundMe page. Rebuild Genizaro Ceremony Site. So that's rebuild, and that is spelled Genizaro Ceremony Site. That is a GoFundMe page. Please, please find it in yourself to be generous, because there's a tremendous need for this ceremonial site. I understand there's a sweat lodge, there's residence for the elders, and it's something that's a very important cause. So I don't want to forget that. Forgive me, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No problem. That's also very important that we support this cause.
Yes, it's truly a very important cause, and you know, we're losing so much of our history and our roots through this pandemic and through the economy and through so much that's going on, that we need to find our roots, man. We need to find our roots.
Exactly.
And so with that, you know, I want to go back to what we were saying. So we were referred to you by my niece Rudiana, and she just told me about all this cool stuff that she feels when she goes to see you, and she's been seeing you for several years.
Several years now, yes.
And then we were fortunate enough to have a loved one of ours, Dee's daughter, Christy, who had just experienced tremendous loss in the last 12 months, over 12 people dying. And her body was just, her spirit was just in turmoil.
Very broken, very disoriented, very sad, very heavy. And her aura was filled with a lot of grief and uncertainty, a lot of grief. Because, of course, as you mentioned, there was 11 or 12 deaths in the past 2 years, just one right after another. So she was just hit hard with a lot of heaviness and felt a lot of despair, a lot of dysfunction, a lot of sorrow, a lot of grief. She was experiencing tremendous grief, and she was very unbalanced, and some of her chakras were very closed down. Because out of fear she had some of her chakras closed down. And so it was very important that I work with her and help to pull out that heaviness, that grieving, that sorrow, that uncertainty, that self-doubt. And once you pull out any dirty energy out of the different chakras that are in your body, you pull them out. Anytime you pull out anything from the body energetically, you need to replace it with clean energy. And once you put the clean energy in, then you seal it so it continues to heal and help the chakras to stay balanced. So some of her chakras were shut down, some were overactive or congested. So there's many different ailments that can happen to the chakras. They can be closed down, shut down, or they can be overly congested when you're absorbing a lot of energy from other people. Being an empath, you absorb and get congested because you take on others' emotions and feelings. And so that's what was going on with Christy. And even after one session, just feeling just clean, clear, focused, balanced after even just one session. I recommend doing more than one, but even with one session, you will feel a tremendous difference.
I got to tell you, we were standing by when she was out to see her, you know, and I think she was there for like 3.5 or 4 hours.
Oh yes.
And when she came out, she called her mom right away, and it was just amazing to be on the listening end of her energy. I mean, you could just feel it coming through the phone that she was a different person, and I mean, her voice didn't get higher, or just she was the same person, spoke the same way, but there was a different sense of
a calm
in her voice.
More surety, more focus, just balanced. It's so different to feel balanced, because so many people right now are definitely out of whack and out of balance. And so definitely she did feel very, very energetically uplifted and very balanced after her first session with me. I could tell there was a sparkle in her eye, her skin looked brighter. You can definitely notice a definite improvement in the person's demeanor, how they hold themselves, sparkle in their eye. I can tell. And
after the I know you can't go into depth of detail about what when you talked about or anything, but here's what I saw from my perspective. I saw so many points in her life that were fragmented, all really coming together after that next week after she saw you, and that was just great.
Well, once you're balanced and once you're centered and you have balance of the chakras, things start to happen for you. You start having synchronicities, you start having coincidences, and when you're centered and balanced, well, then you're open for new opportunities. When you're all congested, when you're feeling low, heavy, dark, sorrow, grief, any of the lower vibrational energies, it's very hard to be open to new ideas, new inspiration, new opportunities, new synchronicities. So being cleared, centered, balanced, and focused opens that door for opportunities to start happening in your life.
I believe it.
In
I
ways
see
that you never dreamed possible.
Exactly. So the universe, I mean, more and more we're hearing this term, the universe, and we know the universe is this spatial thing, but the universe is so much more than that. There's so much more within. The universe is really at hand, And so, for example, I manifest. I have been a manifester for many years, and man, I got to tell you, my manifesting has just been really it heightened in these last few months. I don't know what it is.
That's in alignment with the female energy that's on the planet now. It's very easy to manifest right now. Plant that seed.
This is the time to manifest.
Just allow it to happen.
Yes. Talk about intention statements.
That's very important right now. The power of the spoken word is extremely important at this time on our planet. And it's very important to set your intentions and be very aware of what you're thinking and what you're saying. A lot of us have a tendency to be very hard on ourselves. Oh, I don't make enough money. Oh, I'm not losing weight quick enough. Oh, I'm not this, I'm not that. So
I'm terrible at math. I can't remember names.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a terrible driver.
It's very, very crucial that we catch ourselves when we're saying anything negative about ourselves or others, and switch it to something more positive, because the universe is listening, and the universe will give you exactly what you're saying. So if you're saying, I'm not good at math, well, then the universe will say, she's not good at math, he's not good at math. We'll just keep him.
It will literally cloud you. It will cloud you.
But if you say, oh my gosh, I'm getting better all the time, I'm so good at math, I'm doing, balancing my checkbook, I'm doing so well, the universe is looking down and saying, oh, well, let's have her do better. That's setting the intention of what you want, and you have to be very clear. When you set your intentions, you don't say, oh, I want a big house with a bunch of cars, and I want a swimming pool. You just say, I want a bigger house than something better than I have now. I want better than what I have now. If you want a house, ask for a house, but be specific. don't crowd your affirmations or your intentions with too many different ideas or things that
Exactly.
you want. You have to be very clear and very concise about what you're asking for.
I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
Okay, so when I was doing this clarity list or this intention list, and first I said, and I'm just going to use one example in my list, but I said I want a new truck. And then I looked at my list and I said, I want a white truck. And then I said, I want a Nissan truck. Then I want a white Nissan truck with brown leather interior. I want a white Nissan truck with brown leather interior and the large roll down back window. You know, and I just kept adding to that. And the more specific it gets, the more real your intention becomes, and then your manifesting becomes more material.
Okay.
And then I'm throwing that out there because I know we're not here to talk about manifesting, but intention is so critically aligned with and associated with
the energy on the planet at this time, yes. So be very careful about what you're asking for and what you're saying about yourself and others.
Mm-hmm. I've said it on the show before, and I'll say it again. I take mushrooms, not every day, but I take psilocybin mushrooms, and I take them ceremonially. I take them therapeutically, and I take them with intention. I always do, and I'm not ashamed of this because it's something that's helped me. I've been treated for PTSD from the military for a long time, and it's been very, very helpful to me. And so I'm not telling you should go out and buy some psilocybin, but I'm going to tell you this: it's becoming more and more recognized as a medicinal treatment.
I don't know much about that, but I do know I do know plenty about essential oils.
Oh, man.
That is something that I use during my healings, for every healing. Once I clear out the chakra and make sure that all the negative energy or thought forms or entities that may be lingering in that chakra, once I clear that energy out and put clean energy healing in, then I listen to spirit and take advice as far as what essential oil I should put on that chakra wherever I've been working to deepen and enhance that cleansing, because Mother Earth has so much to offer as far as healing. Any ailment that we have that's on the planet, there is either a tree or a bush or a plant that can help us cure and heal any ailment that we may have.
I so agree. The American Medical Association has made it so you cannot say this product will treat, cure, or diagnose.
Exactly.
And it's a protective mechanism that's put forth by the AMA, and I don't want to get too political in this, but the fact of the matter is that there are products for every ailment. Even the unexplored ones, even Alzheimer's, and I know it's out there. But more and more we're finding out that, herbal medicine and essential oils, the olfactory system is very, very powerful and very effective in healing.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Crystals have so much powerful energy, and they, that is another part of Mother Earth. I place crystals around the body to help balance and to help clear and to help center. Also, before I do my healing, I go ahead and I listen to spirit and I place whatever color crystal I may hear to put on different chakras during the Merkabah light table part of the healing, and just help to get everything balanced and aligned. You'd be surprised how I have some clients, the minute I place a crystal either on their solar plexus or their heart, they'll say, whoa, I could feel that the minute you put that crystal on my body. I could feel the energy moving in my body.
Oh, I believe it, man.
Yes.
I was at a crystal store the other day, and I picked up a card while the woman came up and said, "Here, these are garnets. You got to fill one of these." Ooh. And I picked this stone up, and I'm not kidding you, man. I felt like my whole body was lit up like a light bulb.
Really?
I don't know that I've ever had a crystal have that effect on me like that did, but it was amazing.
Well, that's powerful. That's intense. So
amazing.
That was telling you that was the one for you.
Yes, yes. So do you believe everyone should have crystals? Or do you think that there's something that people should consider having in their home?
I think if you resonate with the stones, if you resonate with crystals, then by all means, yes. I mean,
absolutely.
A lot of us use them as decorations in our home. I mean, not everybody uses them for healing. So I would say yes, if a crystal or a stone resonates with you, and if you get a charge or a feeling like you did when you saw the garnet, by all means, I would say yes, keep the crystals in your home, bring them to your home, share your environment with crystals, because crystals don't compete with each other. They'll do what they need to do for you. Crystals don't say, oh, you do this and I do that. Crystals just resonate and get along. So crystals are fine to bring into your home. I would suggest not sleeping with crystals by your bed, especially quartz crystals. It opens up the basic chakra and sometimes will prevent you to get a good night's sleep. So keep your crystals in another room so that they're not interrupting your sleeping patterns at night. But definitely, if you resonate with the crystal, definitely bring it into your home.
Absolutely.
See what it has to offer.
I've discovered more and more the power of crystals. We had a little chihuahua that was on his deathbed. I mean, it had some kind of congestive heart failure, and it was laying there, and it was trying to breathe, and it was panting, and I have an obsidian ball that's about this big, and I took the obsidian, and I took malachite, and I took a crystal quartz, and I put them around him. And all of a sudden he goes, and he inhaled like, it was almost like he was completely transformed. And I mean, a dog doesn't lie, guys. And I saw that with my own eyes. I mean, it was like, I believe crystals have some serious energy.
They really do. They really do.
Crystals can be drained. They can have the energy drained from them, can't they?
Well, you can clean your crystals by placing it in salt. You don't want to put all crystals in salt water, because sometimes the chemical makeup of a crystal will start to deteriorate in salt water. But if you just lay it on a salt bed, just get a bowl of salt from the kitchen. I have big crystals that I buy that I keep for my cleansing my crystals. And it will definitely absorb, the salt will absorb any negative energy that your crystal may have taken on by helping a human or a pet with their pulling out of negative, low vibrational energy. So you always want to cleanse your crystals after you use them. And if you have a crystal that you resonate with when you buy it, like you mentioned about your red stone that you got, your garnet, thank you. You always want to make sure that you clear it and cleanse it in a salt bath before you start using it, because you never know who has touched it. They may have been in a fight with their wife, they may have been angry, they may have been sad when they were packing up the crystals and setting them out. You don't want anybody else's energy on your crystals when you're working with them. You want them to have just your energy so that you resonate with that crystal without interference with other people's energy.
So I was really mistaken for many, for a couple of years that I started collecting crystals. I would give them, hand them to people and let them hold them, because they would resonate, and not knowing that all my energy was getting, really just diminished or erased, and
then you were taking on other people's energy.
And then I pulled back the crystal, and it was like, oh man, no wonder the crystals were not as powerful as I thought they should be.
So yes, and that's what you're learning,
yes,
over the past few weeks, that you don't want to allow others to use your crystals or touch your crystals,
yes,
especially if you're working with them, if you're using them for healing purposes. If they're just a nice little ornament that you have on your coffee table and you don't mind people touching them, that's one thing. But if you're actually doing healing work, you want to make sure you're the only one touching your crystals, and also that goes for your pendulums also.
Ooh, I want to talk about pendulums.
Yeah, let's talk about pendulums.
So pendulums are a tool that a pranic healer would use, or a spiritualist might use, or a mystic might use to make decisions that are guided by a higher power, simply put.
Exactly. You resonate with your pendulum, you ask it a question, and it will give you the answer. It's a very beautiful connection that you have with your stone. I use my pendulum regularly for my healings. Is this chakra cleansed? Is this, nope, it's not. Okay, keep working on it. Keep pulling out dirty energy. Is this chakra cleansed now? Yes, it feels good. The pendulum goes back and forth. So I use my pendulums daily for, yes/no questions, and you want to keep it simple. You don't want to make a big paragraph. Usually if you have yes/no questions, that's the best way to get an answer. from your pendulum, and definitely you don't want to share pendulums with anyone. You want to bond with your pendulum, listen to your pendulum, and the more you use it, the better it will get at giving you the answers, yes and no. And a lot of times before you start, if you're uncertain and you're not real bonded with your crystal, you can say, give me a yes, and the crystal may make a big circle. And then you'll say, give me a no, and the pendulum will make a back and forth, back and forth. So some people ask their pendulum every time they use it, give me a yes, give me a no, and then they go into asking the questions. Now, I work with my pendulums, and I'm very connected with them, and the minute I just put the pendulum over a chakra, it just answers yes or no, because I'm very connected with the chakra and the pendulum, and I meant not the chakra, with the pendulum, and it answers me right away.
That's
cool. I do have a relationship with my pendulums.
So I got a pendulum here recently, and Linda kind of gave me a little bit of briefing on how to use it. So we're really excited about that. I got a salt bowl, and I've been, putting my crystals in salt, and I've been kind of rotating the crystals to cleanse each one, because I got a pretty substantial collection now, and I'm really excited about it.
Your collection is looking really good.
And so we really love the idea that we have other tools at our disposal that we kept for decoration before, but now they're actually a powerful tool that can improve people's lives, improve people's clarity. I want to walk in. I want to follow your path, man. I tell you what, I love the idea of healing. I just think it's really what my passion is. It's really what I love, and so
It's very rewarding. It's very rewarding. Another thing I wanted to mention that I do during my healing is I use the tuning forks.
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
The tuning forks are another very powerful tool that I use. At the beginning of the healing, I have a series of tuning forks that resonate with each one of the chakras. There are 7 main chakras in the body that I put the pendulum up to the ear, and the sound resonates through the body and goes to that chakra and helps to balance it and get it ready for the pranic healing. So I use the tuning forks before the pranic healing begins to help create balance and calmness. A lot of people say they love the way the tuning fork sounds when they're laying there, and I'm just placing it up to their ear, and it just resonates and puts beautiful healing energy into their body and goes to the chakra that resonates with. A lot of people zone out, go off into a sense of like a light sleep, and just feel very comfortable listening to the tuning forks, and that gets them in a nice meditative state for the healing. After the healing, after the meditation, then I go into the healing, but it helps to calm and balance the chakras before I start the actual pranic healing process or part of the healing.
Do you touch them with the tuning forks?
I do not. I do not. I just hold them up to the ear and just let the sound resonate through the body. Now, when you're putting tuning forks on the ear and putting the fork part of the tuning fork into the ear, it's putting energy and sound into the body. And when you use the back side of the tuning fork, and you can pull out energy also. So it's very powerful, but you have to know what you're doing. You have to know what direction to spin your tuning forks. You have to know what you're doing. You just don't want to start using tuning forks and putting them anywhere. You really need to know what you're doing. So that's another very powerful, very calm, peaceful and calming tool that I use before I start the actual pranic healing.
Okay. I gotta, when we went to visit you, we were sitting in your living room, and your healing room is right there.
Right there.
And I couldn't stop looking in there. I'm just sitting there, and I keep looking. I see your table with your merkabas. They're all lined up, and just kind of give you a visual for those of you, in the audience. So there's a massage table that's in the room, and up above it, looks like a piece of pipe, and on the pipe there are like 6 or 8 of these they look like little squares that are spinning. They're wire, but they're like a star inside of a star, or a triangle inside of a triangle, or a pyramid inside of a pyramid. And they're rotating in all the same direction, and it's up above that bed. When we finally got to the point where we were going to go into this healing room, we walked to the threshold of the room, And then we kind of just respectfully bow down to the, to the spirit, to the universe, and then we walked in the room. And maybe I'm highly more sensitive now, but man, when I walked in this room, I felt like when I get in my hot tub and the hot water just surrounds me and just engulfs me and embraces you. I mean, it was like, oh, I can't believe I'm here. It was so cool.
It was extremely powerful that day. And yes, that's the energy. That's the feeling of a loving, peaceful, healing energy. Before I do my healings, I usually do many rituals, many prayers to cleanse myself, to cleanse the room, to protect the room.
Mm-hmm.
And so that particular day, I got the room ready, and the room was ready for you and Dee when you came in.
Oh, even Dee, she says, oh yeah, that was amazing.
I can feel the energy. So that's what I do before I do the healings on anybody. I get the room ready, I get the room cleared, clean, say rituals, prayers, call in spirit, call in the divine, call in healing angels, ascended masters, archangels, spirit guides, holy masters, just anyone who is resonating with whoever my client is and wants to allow me to be the vessel that they do the work through. I don't claim that I'm doing the healing. I'm just a clear vessel that spirit does the healing work through, and you're the one who is healing. You have the power to heal your own body. I just facilitate and speed up the healing process by clearing things out and helping you to have a more balanced and clear energy field so that you can start to heal faster.
Wow, wow.
You're the one doing the healing. Yes.
We really can heal our own self.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The body is very good at healing its own self. I mean, whenever we cut ourselves, whenever we fall down, whenever we have a bruise, the body naturally heals itself. It's programmed to do that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when we're totally congested, when we're grieving, when there's sorrow, when there's fear, all throughout the planet, when humanity is suffering, you can't, where was I going with this?
When you're healing, I don't know.
I just lost my train of thought.
Well, I'll tell you what, let me do a quick station break.
And I'll go ahead and remember what I
Guys, if you're just joining us, you're watching Boost Plus, Weekend Boost on KUHS, The Stream on Melody Drive. We are talking to pranic healer Linda Montana about just the powerful parts about healing and about pranic healing. And we were talking about the Merkaba, and you were talking about preparation before you do a treatment.
Okay.
And so, go ahead. So when you have someone who comes in, preparing yourself is just as important as it is to do the treatment. Oh, we were talking about how people heal themselves.
Oh, exactly. Okay. So the body, yes, is always on track to heal itself. So in coming to see me, I have to clear the way for you to start healing more rapidly. I'm not saying that I'm the healer. I'm the one who's clearing the energy and clearing the negative heaviness so that your body can generate new cells, new growth, and new inspiration, and you can heal yourself.
Absolutely. There's a book, it's called Becoming Supernatural by, I believe, Michael Newton. This book will blow your mind. I mean, he talks about natural healing, he talks about chakra healing and meditations and, meditation, walk meditation, sleeping meditation, laying down meditation. But he talks about self-healing and talking to Linda and understanding that when your body is aligned, and it's exactly it's in alignment with it says in this book. When your chakras are either out of line or blocked, they're not functioning.
Exactly.
But when they can line up, and when you have 7 of these energy centers, we call chakras, when you line up these energy centers or open up the flow or remove the blockage, then all of a sudden you're going to function efficiently, effectively.
Exactly.
It's like when you put some, I put this new fuel treatment in my car last week, and oh man, it felt like we were in a race car. And it was like, my God, my car got a pranic healing.
And that's funny that you say that, because sometimes when people come to see me, I'll tell them, we'll have a consultation and see where they are, what they're going through. That way I have an idea of what kind of healing I'll be doing for them. And sometimes people just need a tune-up, like you said. Just
Yep.
tune me up. Just get all my chakras in alignment, get me balanced, and send me on my way. So you don't always have to have something major wrong with you or going on in your life. I have many clients that see me every single month for their tune-up, just so that they feel like they're at optimal health, and that they're functioning, and that they're focused, and that they're feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I do the regular tune-ups on people also.
So there's so much more to pranic healing than just going there when you're a mess. I mean, you could be in really good shape and just go in there for, like you say, a tune-up, an alignment,
because
correction.
even times when you feel like you're doing just fine, you'll come and I'll say, whoa, your solar plexus is very congested, or I'll know. I won't say that to you, but I'll know. So yeah, I'll just go in and I can feel where you're depleted, I can feel where you're congested, and then where you're depleted, I'll put more energy in, and where you're congested, I'll pull more negative, dirty energy out.
Pull energy out. It almost sounds like, this is amazing. How can you pull energy out? Do you have a tool, or do you?
It's intention. Once again, going back to the intention. I have the intention, and I have the motion and the direction. There's certain directions that you move in, and certain movements that you make that pull energy out. And once you pull the energy out and you know that the chakra is cleared and balanced, then you do another direction and another intention to put energy back in.
Oh.
So I use a lot of intention. In my mind, I'm talking the whole time. Pull out the grief, pull out the sorrow, cleanse the fear, pull out the fear. So I'm constantly setting intentions and movement as I'm pulling out dirty or heavy energy from the chakra.
Wow.
And you go in one direction to pull out, and you go in another direction to put in. And then also on top of doing that, I use color. Colors also are very powerful. Different colors do different things. Blue is very calming, green is very healing, pink would be opening the heart or very loving, a black stone would be grounding. So I also, with intention, put in color into the body also. It's a very powerful multi-tool. I use multiple tools to help you to feel much better after a healing. There's a lot going on that you don't really see, but it's happening.
There's a learning style that I learned a long time ago, back in my 20s. It was called multisensory perception. So when I was trying to learn, I was in this program called SMI, Success Motivation Institute, and they would teach you that you have to read it, you have to hear it, and you have to speak it. So that was 3 senses. You could, your words would, you physically speaking this affirmation. You heard it in your mind, and you read it, and so you saw it with your eyes. So then multisensory gave it more efficiency. And so much of what you're doing is, except at a different level of sensory.
Exactly.
You're multisensory, building, rebuilding, correcting, healing.
It's all energetic, and it's very hard to prove or see, because it's energy, and we don't always see the energy around us, or you walk into a room and you feel happy, and this place feels good, or you walk into another room and it feels heavy or just oppressive because a couple has had an argument 15 minutes before, so you can feel the energy. So basically, I'm dealing with energy, and years ago I got a message from Spirit that you should look into energy healing, and I looked at my friend and I said, what the heck is energy healing?
You just got this message.
I got a message from Spirit that that's another story. But yes, I did get this message, and at that time, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I didn't even know what it was, and now I work with energy every day.
Wow.
Every day. Yeah.
Wow. That's so cool, because I kind of had an epiphany back in my 30s. I got involved in a company that sold herbs. It wasn't Herbalife, but it was a really progressive company that had all these formulas, and I discovered that I had a friend who had a brain tumor. And I started doing all the research and calling all the people that knew a lot about this, and they recommended I get this herb and some cellulose and red clover and cellulose and sheep's oil, I believe I gave her. And the tumor that she had in her head went from the size of a golf ball, inoperable, to the size of a pea within 3 months.
Wow.
And
that's
so
amazing, yes.
My calling was, I was still staggering. You know, I didn't know that's what it was. I discovered essential oils, and I said, oh, this is a cool medium.
They're very powerful.
You know, the frequencies that are that are in the oils, and you know, when you meditate or pray over them, their frequencies increase. A lot of people don't know that.
Exactly.
And so, and that really brings me to what I started to saying was, when you're doing this kind of healing, you got to be careful that you don't step in and say, it's all me, it's all, you know, but it's not, because it's not.
I never do that.
And I'm talking to myself. Because I know that. I've heard that and learned that.
I've made that statement right off the bat.
Yep.
I'm just the vessel that the energy and the information
Yes.
goes through. I'm here to facilitate your healing, but I am not the healer.
Yep.
I'm not a doctor, and I don't prescribe medications, you know, or I don't give advice as far as what to take or what not to take. That's not what I do. It's all very energetic. It's all very, very beautiful, very pure, and the messages I get come from spirit, from your higher self, your higher soul, my higher soul. Before you come to get your healing with me, I sit down, I pray, and I connect with your higher self, and then I get information. I become a pure vessel and get information from spirit as far as what I should be doing for you when you get in there. And also when I'm in the healing room, I'll get a message, keep working on that chakra, or go ahead and use this oil once it's clean. It's constantly a conversation with spirit as far as what oils to use on what chakras, what you need, because also, as you mentioned with the essential oils, they're extremely therapeutic, and just smelling an essential oil goes straight to the brain and makes changes in the body just by smelling. So I put the essential oil up to the nose and let you take 3 nice deep breaths so that you get the blood-brain barrier going straight to the brain, and then I'll place a little dab of it on whatever chakra that I'm clearing or cleansing at that time. It's very therapeutic.
Oh, that's
very beautiful.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, when you have a whole row of oils, and it's like, oh, I have a ton of oils too, and it's like, oh, I just love when I find someone who understands the
Or is open.
or is open, yes.
Yeah, or is open.
Oh, yes, because I mean, there's so many people that just are, you know, and those people, you can't help them. I mean,
Exactly. You don't want
know,
to push yourself or push anything onto anybody, but if they're open.
Zig Ziglar said this, and this is something that, if you're one of those people, there's 3 things you can't do. You can't climb a fence leaning toward you, you can't kiss a girl leaning away from you, and you can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. And so if you're, you know, on a mission, and if you're kind of starting on your search for, or your growth in healing, and you are, you know, helping people, whether it's through motivational speaking, or whether it's coaching, or whatever, counseling, whatever it is, you've got to remember that not everybody is ready to be helped. And so you just have to be patient with that, and that's
have to help everybody at their own time, at their own pace.
Yes.
Exactly.
But you know, the reason I had to talk about what I said earlier was I was a couple of days ago I was doing a basic massage and treatment on Dee's uncle, and I had him on my massage table, and he was face down, and he says, man, he says, you're pretty good or something like that. I said, and I said, I don't take no credit. I take 0 credit for this. And he goes, that's exactly what I was hoping to hear you say.
Were you touching him with your hands?
Well, I have a massage tool that I use,
Okay.
and I was using that on him. And then I have this obsidian ball I had mentioned earlier, and I got to bring it in one of these days. I don't want anyone touching my crystals anymore, and so what I did with him is,
Right.
and I've done this on myself, it's very effective, and I put a towel on him, and I rolled this ball on his back, and oh
There
my
you
gosh,
go.
he was moaning like I was killing him, and it was amazing. It's a heavy ball, but I mean, I was rolling it, and he says it's like the ball found the spots on him. I gotta show you this. This is so cool.
Wow, and it's true, it does. It works, that's how it works. Now, I place the crystals on clients' different chakras, but then when I'm done, I take the crystal off, tell it to stop absorbing the energy or the
Ooh.
healing, and then put it in the salt so that it can clear any negative energy into the salt. The salt will absorb the negative energy, and then the crystal will get back in alignment.
Okay.
So
okay.
I do place crystals on people or around people, but people are wearing their clothes when they do healing with me, so it's on their
not on their physical
on
skin.
their fabric.
On
right,
the fabric,
so,
yes.
exactly.
Okay, so I guess I was on track, but
yeah, you were on track by putting that towel down, so it wasn't coming in contact with his energy. Yeah.
yeah. And again, when I was done, I got to remember that talking to the crystal because it's something new to me.
A
but
simple
it's,
command.
Yeah, simple command.
Stop absorbing now.
And then put it in the salt. And I've got the a couple of salt bowls, and it's like I can't tell you what a different level I feel now. I just feel like I don't live in Montano.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, but you really have. You've been an inspiration to us, and I've learned so much in just this short time, and I want to continue my growth because, guys, life is short, and you have the ability to reach out, and if you have the ability or a gift to treat someone or make someone's life richer, better, more valuable, and you have a responsibility to fill that.
That is very true, and with more responsibility, you need to be very careful. You need to stay very cleansed, very clear, very clean, keep your space clean, keep your mind clean, keep your body clean. So you have to, when you take on the responsibility of healing others, you also have to really take care of your environment and your own physical body so that nothing latches on or sticks to you that you pull off of someone else. You got to be really careful about that.
I'm so finding that out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any stories of experiences that you've had on your table that are really noteworthy, that were like, whoa, that was a surprise? Or has anything ever happened to you that was just shocking? Or
well, nothing at this point, since I've been doing it so long, shocks me. But it's exciting when you have thought forms and thought entities and elementals that are residing in your space or in your aura. And what I have found that's a good story is that a thought entity might be in someone's throat. I had a client that was having problems with her throat, continually coughing, pain in her throat. And I got in there with my crystal and started working on it, and the pain moved, the thought form moved from one side of her throat to the other.
oh man!
And it's like, she's like, now my throat hurts on this side. And then I went over there and cleaned that area of the body of her throat, and then she got a headache. So
Whoa.
Then I had to go in with the tuning fork and pull out that thought entity. But so energy and thought forms and will move around in your body, and so that's kind of tricky. So you got to be really careful. Sometimes you have to stabilize the chakras so that the entities or the thought forms don't move. You stabilize them with a certain color where they can't move, then you go in and you pull them out.
Wow.
So that's pretty interesting when a client can actually feel the pain moving from one part of their body to another.
Yeah.
It's like, don't worry,
Wow.
I'm on it.
Wow.
I'm more powerful than this thought form or this thought entity, and I'll take care of it. So yes, it's pretty interesting when you have energy moving around the body trying to run away from you because it's comfortable, and and it's comfortable where it is, and it doesn't want to leave.
Whoa, man, that's true. I mean, I really believe that there's and I do call them entities because
Thought entities.
Because I have physically pulled thought energies out of my body. I mean, I could just and I do this symbolically, but I could feel things holding on to me that don't want to let go. And so, what you're saying is just like, oh my gosh, I stumbled on this. I didn't even know what I was doing.
Well, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
And it does work. So, yeah.
So if I know that you have a pretty solid client base, but if someone was wanting to find you, is there a website they can find you on?
There is a website. My website is soulquesthealing.com.
Soul, S-O-U-L, Quest, Healing.
Q-U-E-S-T, healing, all one word, soulquesthealing.com.
And typically, if someone was to come see you, your first session is free?
No, my first session is...
No, I'm teasing.
I'll just say that anybody that mentions this interview, I'll give them $25 off their first healing.
Let me tell you guys, this is a worthwhile investment in yourself.
It definitely is.
And all the things you can invest in, a new car, a new bike, a new landscape, or whatever, a trip. invest in the one thing that never leaves your side. It's the one you look at in the mirror. Invest in that. And I'll tell you what, an investment in yourself, especially with this kind of a healing session, is not just worthwhile, but it's beneficial on a long-term scale. And
a
I
lot of
just know
people
this.
need this work right now. A lot of people are going through a lot of self-doubt, a lot of fear, a lot of hopelessness. There's a lot of heaviness, and a lot of people, everybody can use or benefit from my healing sessions at this time on the planet.
Now, do you do remote sessions, or is everything physical?
I do. And when COVID first started a couple of years ago, I thought, what am I going to do? I'm so used to having people come to my healing room and work on them in person. And I got a message from Spirit, just do remote. So I called up the clients and I said, this is how we're going to be doing it. So yes, and even last week I had a cancer patient that was having neuropathy so bad she couldn't leave her house. And she's like, can we do a remote healing? And I said, of course. And the healings are just as powerful and they're just as intense as they are when you're on the table. Of course, people like to be on the table because they get to smell the oils, and they get to feel the crystals, and they get to see the spinning Merkabahs. But yes, the remote distant healing is extremely powerful, and I can also do remote healing.
So, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of things that you could do, and there's a lot of ways that Linda can help you. And I'm telling you, just as someone who's known her for just a couple of months, this is a woman who really has a passion to help people and really can make a difference in your life. And I mean it. I'm not pulling your leg. This is not baloney, man. This is real.
It does work.
Stuff.
It does work. It's powerful and it does work. And you don't have to believe in what I do for it to work. All you have to do is have the desire and be open to what I'm doing, and just come and let me do what I'm doing, and I guarantee you, you will definitely be a different person when you get off my table. Definitely.
I believe that. I have no doubt about it. I mean, we're willing to send people to you, as everyone, we're talking to everyone. Hey, you got to talk to this lady. This is some cool stuff. Guys, this hour's gone so fast. I mean, I can't believe how fast the time goes on this show.
It really has.
Guys, we've been talking to Linda Montana, healer in the Denver area. Again, her website is soulquesthealing.com. Master Energy Healer, Soul Quest Healing to help you heal. I'm just going to look at a couple of key topics on here before I move on. Again, chakra alignment, ear candling. She does ear candling,
exactly.
Chakra balancing, Merkaba, light table, angelic Merkaba. Oh my gosh, guys, this is
powerful.
The other night we went to dinner at Linda's house, and I got to sit under what that she has hanging in her living room. And I just sat there, and I felt like there was just love pouring down on me. I can't describe it anything else. I told you on the way home, oh my gosh, you should have sat where I was. But yeah.
It was awesome.
It was really awesome. And then pranic healing. And so pranic healing is something that is just out of this world. It's something that...
It's energetic.
It's very real.
No-touch healing. And it comes from the same master who brought Reiki healing onto the planet, was the same master who invented pranic healing.
And so with that, we are going to close the show. Guys, you have been watching Boost Plus, Weekend Boost. This is KUHS, The Stream on Melody Drive. I want to just do a quick shout out to the station manager, Henry Archuleta. I love you, man. I'm so glad and proud to call you my friend, and I'm just so thankful that you make this opportunity for us to spread good messages and enlighten people and wake them up. And guys, just stay with us. I don't know if you listen to KUHS in the evenings. Oh my gosh, Henry is a jamming guy. Sit out and listen to his music. Paul Chavez is coming up with Deep Cuts, Mr. International himself. Guys, stay on board because we got plenty of good stuff for you. And with that, remember, everybody's looking for a hero. Everybody's looking for a hero. If you can't find one, be one. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Paul.